change the orientation. Oh. How are you guys doing out there? I was trying to do a horizontal orientation for you, but it's not working today. Okay, so if you're in the comments, let me know that you can hear the sound. I tried doing this yesterday, and the sound wasn't working. So let me know if you can hear me. Sorry about all that moving around. Season's greetings, happy holidays, all that jazz. And I thought I'd pop on here because yesterday my live didn't work. I did end up being able to do a live later in the day, but I didn't use my actual device. It wasn't the greatest quality. So I'm back. How are you guys? I'm sure you guys are all getting ready for the holiday rush. But for those of you who are alone on the holidays, you're never alone. Your guides are always with you. There's always someone around. And I was telling the story yesterday. I'm going to do a pick a pile, you guys, okay? But I was saying that yesterday I was saying about how when I lived in Los Angeles for a few years, I had family who lived in San Diego, but there was one Christmas where I didn't go see anyone. I was just like, I don't feel like spending the money. And so I was alone on Christmas, and I was alone on my birthday. I didn't really have that many friends. I didn't have family in LA, and I was alone. But I'm kind of the type of person who thrives on being alone. And I don't necessarily celebrate birthdays or holidays. You know, it's cool to celebrate those things, but it's not something I typically celebrate. So on my birthday, I went out to eat by myself. And on Christmas, I went to an open mic, a comedy open mic. And I actually met I met some friends there. I had a grand old time listening to the comedians at the open mic in Hollywood. And it was great, and it was free entertainment. And I remember I got a free hat later from that comedy open mic. It became like my second home, and I started just interacting with people and meeting friends. And so all I'm saying is that you're only as alone as you make yourself out to be. You know, you go step outside your door, and there's gonna always be someone there. You can go to a food distribution center, and you can donate. Shout out to Food Not Bombs, because they are one of my favorite donation organizations for the unhoused folks. You can find a Food Not Bombs near you in every single state of the U.S., and they will welcome you with open arms into their community. And you get the food together, you get the food ready, and then you go to impoverished neighborhoods and you disperse the vegetarian food. A lot of the times it's delicious bakery or lentils or spaghetti. Their food is so good, okay? So shout out to Food Not Bombs. But you guys are never ever really alone, is what I'm saying. You can always go out there and find a community, an organization that will be there for you. And hello, can you hear me? Zaysha Malik. Hi, I'm doing well. Please let me know if the sound's working, because the sound wasn't working the other day. I was going to do this yesterday, but the sound did not work. All right, so I was just talking about how you guys are never alone. I was giving a shout out to Food Not Bombs and saying that there's always going to be some kind of organization that you can go to so that you're not alone. Oh, okay, I'm sorry about that. We're doing a pick a pile today, my friend. I am thinking about can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me know that you can hear me in the chat. Say, I can hear you, because I had no sound yesterday. Hi, everybody. We're going to be doing a pick a pile. I just need to know that you guys can hear me. You can hear me. Thank you so much. Okay, so yes, I used to do free questions on here, and I'm thinking about bringing it back after the new year. But today I just am going to do a pick a pile because I do have family gathering to go to later. So I don't have all the time in the world to answer everyone's questions. But if you have subscribed after the new year, I'm going to do answer your question live, okay? Today, though, I thought I would do just a quick message from your ancestors for anyone who maybe is alone right now or who just has the time, okay? So We have these oracle piles, oracle cards. Thank you, I appreciate you. Pick an oracle deck. We have the Chakra Wisdom Oracle. We have the Oracle of the Seven Energies. Thank you, dear. And then we have Believe in Your Own Magic. So just pick an oracle deck, any one that you want. And I'm going to be doing 3 different messages with these oracle decks, and I'll pull some tarot with it as well. And so we're going to do it in this order right here. Pick the deck that you want, the message from Chakra, 7 Energies, or this is like Believe in Your Own Magic. All right, and then that will be your message. I have my candles lit. I have my little rose quartz. If you guys didn't know that, rose quartz is for love. And let's pick some cards. I hope that you guys have an amazing, amazing holiday and that you're not completely alone. And if you are, you're never really alone. Your guides are there with you. Okay, so for this, pick a pile number 1. Let's see what's going on for this pile. What messages are coming through? Okay, we have completion. So hopefully no one passed away, but this is some kind of ending or something that's cycled out. This is also the end of the year, so we're saying goodbye to 2025. That's sacral chakra. More sacral chakra. This is saying persevere. So if there's something that maybe ended, or if this is just about it's the end of the year, you know, continue moving forward, continue going forward. Perseverance is everything, you guys. So it's not what happens to you, but it's how you react to the things that happen to you. And then we have prayer, solar plexus chakra. So I definitely feel like your ancestors are coming through with that, you know, because we have prayer right on there. Okay, now let's pull some tarot to go along with that. Persevere, pray. And I definitely feel like this is definitely a message for some of you, this is a message for someone who's passed away, your ancestors. So I don't know if you had a family member, relative that passed away. They're hearing your prayers and they want you to keep going. Perseverance. Why is completion here? Now, I see that as we're at the end of the year and we're completing the end of the year. We're completing a year number 9, which is about karmic contracts, ending the karmic contracts. 9 of Cups. So, completion, 9 of Cups. So, I feel like this is saying, you know, this is the end of this period of time in your life where you're giving other people your best energy. Because the 9 of Cups is is a wish fulfillment here. So, they want you to complete a cycle where you're giving to other people. And put yourself first in 2026. Pour back into your own cup. And then we have perseverance. I knew it. See, I told you. We have completion once again. And then we have the World card. Now, this is the end of the year. And then we have the Aces, because the beginning of the year, well, technically, you know, astrologically, the beginning of the year doesn't start until March or January. But the way the Gregorian calendar works is it's the end of the year. And we have a lot of new ideas coming in, a lot of fresh inspiration. A lot of people think of the new year as like a clean slate and things like that. So they're sending you some ideas here. What did you complete this year? And what are you looking to create in the new year with this Ace of Swords? I love that. But also, I feel as though with this energy here, especially because we have prayer, it's like I'm hearing, you know, you can write down your prayers. The Ace of Swords is new inspiration, ideas, and it's thoughts, it's clarity. So, you know, this can easily be journaling, writing down your thoughts and ideas, getting clear on your thoughts and ideas, asking your guides for help. Hi. Thank you. All right, and then with prayer, Two of Swords. So ask your guides for help here, because with the Two of Swords, I feel like this is saying that there's some kind of choice or decision that you have to make. It's a major one. Don't we always have choices in reality? You're welcome, dear. And with this card, with the Two of Swords, you can take the blindfold off and you can, this is about getting clarity. 100% this is about getting clear. Some of you could really benefit from guidance doing a meditation or a prayer or a journal and really talking to your guides here for guidance. Because remember, we all have our best guides within us. Whenever there's a decision to make, whenever we feel lost, whenever we just are not seeing something for what it is, our guides will show us the way. We will have synchronicities, we will have songs. There will be some type of guide. You just have to recognize it. Spirits, angels, and guides, where are you going with this? So I'm also getting in my head that you are always connected with your ancestors. You're always connected with them through your higher power, through your higher self. Some of you guys could have lost someone. I can't help that. Look, we have the death card and we have completion. I don't predict death on here, but what I'm seeing is that there is someone who's trying to send you a message from the other side. From the other side. But it's also kind of a reminder, to live life to the fullest while you have it. Because I think sometimes we allow ourselves to get caught up in confusion or get caught up in the day-to-day, and we don't live for ourselves. So if this is a relationship, if this is a move, if this is you're feeling stuck, just try and live for today. Hi, guys. Because tomorrow is not guaranteed, and your ancestors want to live vicariously through you. We've all lost someone at some point in our life. A grandma, a father, a cousin, a brother, a friend, right? Or even there's a lot of celebrities that have been passing away lately, and they would give anything to have a second chance. And the thing is that, like, the spirit is not physical. It's not in this fleshy suit. It's in the 5D. It's in a different realm, right? So so yeah, I feel like with this pile number 1, live for today, and your ancestors want you to live for today. Try to enjoy the day. What message is coming through from the other side? They're literally trying to message you. Page of Wands. Somebody from the other side has been trying to send you a message, but I can't tell you what that is. You guys have to pay attention to your dreams. You have to pay attention to the synchronicities. Can you be more specific, angels and guides? The Hermit. Oh, a lot of you guys, this is saying that if you are seeking an answer from me, a lot of you guys are asking questions in the chat. You're the one who has the answer. I am here to remind you. Your guides are here to remind you. Someone from the other side is here to remind you that you have the answers within you. The Hermit goes inwards to answer their own questions. And they seek inspiration from source because they know that spirit is eternal. Okay, your ancestors are always sending you dreams, messages, signals to guide you in the right direction. Okay, and this is actually God. You guys, this is God. Whether you believe in God or not, in the tarot, Hermit represents a God-like figure, and it lives within your spirit, within you. Okay, and we have prayer and we have God. A lot of you guys could be religious. Okay, I'm not talking about religion on here. You're free to think and believe what you want. But there it is. We have a very religious message coming through insofar as that that you have to treat your body as a temple. You have to treat your mind as a temple. You have to treat your vicinity as a temple. And you know, I say this all the time, you guys, that you are the combination of the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with. So let's say that your closest family members or your closest friends sit around and drink and talk crap and they don't do anything with their life. Well, that energy is going to rub off on you. So if you feel sad and lonely, it could be the company that you keep. If you feel thwarted from your goals, it could be the company that you keep. If you feel lost and confused all the time, it could be that you're not tapping into Source's power. Whatever you believe is the higher power, you're not listening to it. I don't have the answers. Tarot readers don't have the answers. Tarot cards don't have the answers. You have the answers. And your spirit team, with we have prayer, we have God, we have death, and we have completion. This is saying that, you know, the veil to the other side is super thin, super thin. And they would give anything to be in your body, and they would make different choices, you know. So don't neglect your higher power, the downloads from Source. Don't neglect that, and don't neglect your own intellect and your own wisdom, because you have wisdom. Okay, you are, you know, you're one of God's creatures here, you guys. And I love this card because there's a stag on here. It's very kind of Christmassy, you know, with the reindeers. It's a reindeer on here. So this is a special period of time, specifically because it reminds you what your values are. And values should be the people who are the closest to you. And if you don't have humans that are closest to you, there's someone in the spirit world. We all have ancestors. Let's say you're an orphan. Well, you still have ancestors, right? Okay, let's say you don't have any close family members. You still have ancestors. There's still a lineage, a generation of your family members on the other side who are trying to get you to go in a certain direction. Now, it's important to be able to discern when your guides are trying to tell you to do something that maybe you don't think is right for you, but they will never steer you towards danger. So you have the best guide within you. They don't want you to be confused anymore with the Hermit. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next pile. This is really about you asking your spirit team for guidance, because I feel like some of you guys ask me questions in the chat and I think that you're asking the wrong questions, but I also think that you have the answer to those questions. You're just kind of afraid to acknowledge it. Sometimes we fear the truth. We're afraid to take off the blindfold, because then it means that you have to acknowledge something that you don't want to, or that you have to change something within you. Okay, let's see. Awakening flow state. Activate abundance by showing less resistance to what isn't working. I was literally saying that because let's say you're asking about a relationship that maybe isn't going in the right direction. Sometimes we have to realize that a relationship isn't meant to be in our life, because we're resisting to something ending when it isn't supposed to be there. It will only cause you suffering. Let go and let God, okay? Awakening flow state, activate abundance by showing less resistance to what isn't working. So complete those karmic cycles. Those things aren't working for you. And karmic cycles, it doesn't always have to be, well, you have to dump your partner or your boyfriend or that situationship. Maybe that's the case for you. But sometimes it's how we talk to ourselves. Sometimes it's that we don't listen to our guides or our inner voice, and that's what needs to change. That's what we need to stop resisting against, our own intuition. Stop resisting against our ancestors giving you the answers on a silver platter and you ignoring them, right? So this is about clarity. This is about, you know, when we say prayer, we mean talking to our higher power, whatever that is, our guides, our angels, our ancestors, or even our higher self for clarity. So I really love this. I definitely feel like there was somebody coming through in this reading Let me see if I can find out who it is. I mean, it could just be for one of you guys who lost someone recently or just in general. Who is this message coming in from? Queen of Pentacles. It's the matriarchy. So it would be a female, and I think they're, the female in your family, a female ancestor who passed away, like maybe a grandmother, something like that, or your great grandmother. The Queen of Pentacles, because sometimes I feel like we don't think that we have enough resources because maybe we don't make enough money or something like that. But the thing is that I always say this, abundance is the support that we have. Abundance is the community we have. Abundance is a wealth of knowledge that we have, that we can turn the skills that we have to turn into money. Okay, I'm gonna move on to, I am doing the pick a pile. If you missed the beginning, I had 3 different oracle decks that I'm pulling from. So let's pull from the second one, guys. That was the Chakra Wisdom. Wow, there was definitely a matriarchy coming through from the other side. Somebody's grandmother, great grandmother, auntie coming through in that one. Okay, so now we're going to pull from this one. This is the Oracle of the 7 Energies. Okay, guys, I hope y'all are going to have a magnificent day, whatever you're doing, even if you have to work, because I know some people have to work on holidays, and that's okay too. Okay, what do we have for pile number 2? I'm so glad my sound is back, you guys. Woo! We have Earth Magic. Some of you guys could be Earth signs. That would be Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, Earth Magic. So getting in touch with nature, if you can. I know it's cold outside. Awakening Genius. I love that. Awakening Genius. Wow. Okay. Nature is genius. Wow, that one flew right out. And then we have a deep breath. Yes, take a deep breath. I think I want to get one more. I don't know if it'll fit on here. Let's see. One more for the pile number 2. Sacred Reverence. Sacred Reverence. Wow. Let's see what that's about. So I feel like this is, for some of you guys, you might need to touch some grass, or maybe you've been spending too much time inside, because if you see the thing that we have on here, this to me reminds me of a globe. It's like a key to the world, and then we have Earth. Something here is like telling me, like, for you guys to, I know this is hard. I haven't been able to go out in nature myself because it's been cold outside, but this is about grounding yourself, grounding your energy. And when we say sacred reverence, it means like holding something in high regard. What do we hold in high regard? And then, of course, I think this is about serenity, because this says take a deep breath. This to me seems like it's about de-stressing. And then awakening genius to me is maybe not being so critical on yourself. And, there is a shaman on there. So I feel like you guys can, with you grounding yourself and de-stressing and like kind of getting into this meditative state, that will awaken the shaman within you, right? It's kind of like the other message I was getting was that your higher self has a lot more knowledge than you give it credit for. I knew it. Okay, so sacred reverence, and then we have the 10 of Pentacles. And I know the 10 of Pentacles is a dynasty of wealth, but we're talking about community. And with these 2 cards together, and I was saying this message before, that you're never really alone. There's always a community right outside your door. Food distribution, shelters, church, temples, but your family also. So, and I know a lot of the holidays are difficult. The holidays can bring up a lot of stuff for families. but try to remember to revere the family that you do have, because family is, we're gifted a family from birth, and it's not always an easy thing. So if you do have some family members that you get along with, or that, you know, are there for you, try to revere them. Okay, let's see. Why is Earth Magic here? So it looks like the ground to me. It's like touch grass, touch the earth. If you can, you know, I know it's cold outside. Tell me more about Earth Magic. Why is that here? Earth Magic. Oh, and then we have the Magician. This is about manifestation. Earth Magic, and you see how there's sparkles on both of these? Like she has her little wand. I mean, this is the Magician. It's not about masculine or feminine energy. It's about what we can create. So we can create a lot of things with the earth. Some of you guys could like plants, or like to plant things, but this is saying that you have all the tools at your disposal. And if not, the earth does provide for us in a lot of ways. So don't be afraid of your own magic, of your own manifestation, of your own creativity, and nature will absolutely provide for you if you allow it to. So I love that. So what gifts are is the universe giving you? The gift to make something happen. The gift to turn lemon into lemonade. The gift to plant a tomato plant and eat forever. What do we have for Awakening Genius? Awakening Genius. Why is that there? To me, it looks like a shaman. Some of you guys could be into plant medicine. If that's not the case, don't worry about it. I'm just hearing plant medicine, because when I think about shamans, I think about like, I think about tea, I think about herbs, I think about sweat lodges, and I think about like taking ayahuasca and having visions like that change your life, you know. And I'm not advocating for you to go out and take anything. This is what it's just coming through here, you know, about tapping into that spirituality, about feeling like there is something that's guiding you, you know, feeling like the universe provides answers, you know, in plant magic, because it does. And if you think about herbs and medicinal things, like, it's a miracle, and it comes from the earth. We're talking about plants that come from the earth that can heal you. And then we have the star. So yeah, hoping, healing, looking to the cosmos for answers. 100%, that's what she's doing here. And then there's this, like, it's not necessarily if you believe in a god or something like that, but you can look at the first read I did, because our ancestors are always there. Let's say you have a particular mentor or shaman or native shaman. Like for me, it's Thich Nhat Hanh. He was a Buddhist monk. He passed away very recently, but he has a lot of wisdom, and he is in the spirit world now. And when I look up to the cosmos, or when I look out into space, because the earth is constantly rotating on its axis, up and down is an illusion. Gravity keeps you on this planet. Up and down is an illusion. It's more like out and around. But when I am thinking about the cosmos, and I'm thinking about the shamans that have passed away, that knowledge that they offered the world is still there to be discerned. You can gain this knowledge, and it's all within you, and it's awakening the shaman or the genius within you. But also, like, let's just say I do a ritual. I sit in meditation, and I drink some ceremonial cacao. I sit in ritual, and I make some noise, and I get into like this trance meditative state. And then, you know, the smoke clears, and there's a shaman there, and that inner shaman is telling me that I need to go on a spirit quest, or that I need to quit that job, or that, you know, it's giving us some kind of source of wisdom and it's always there for us. And the star is aligning with that inner shaman wisdom, that alignment, that crystal clear alignment that only comes through when you sit and you focus. Because we're a distracted generation. We're distracted by our cell phones, we're distracted by the mirrors, we're distracted by computers and screens. And sometimes relationships can distract you from your higher purpose, from your path, from the shamans that, want to give you this gift, this plant magic, this otherworldly experience. And we can all have otherworldly experiences without going to Peru, spending $1,000 and doing ayahuasca. We don't need to do that. We just need to go inwards, sit in quiet contemplation, and focus on ourselves and our own inner vision. Because our minds, whether you think you're smart or not, because I have a feeling some of you guys could really talk negatively about yourself and maybe not think that you're very smart because you compare yourself. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not true. The brain that you have is very powerful. It's very powerful, and it has all kinds of, genius thoughts and wisdom within it. So just experience your scruple, aligning with your destiny. This to me seems like I was saying before, like I'm setting the stage for deep contemplation and, a ceremony or a ritual in your house with cacao, having a somatic, maybe you're doing somatic exercises, deep breaths, because life can be overwhelming. There are a lot of distractions, and they distract you from your sense of purpose, because the star is about aligning with the North Star and having it guide you, right? Like, if I'm lost out there in the forest and I don't have a compass, I don't have a cell phone, I need to find a North Star, and it will guide me to the road. So what is your North Star? What is your inner shaman? And what are they telling you to do? Where is your compass pointing you? And when I say that, I mean about life decisions. Okay, so deep breaths. What do we have for deep breaths? I love that. The Lovers. We can't control the outcome of a loving relationship. This is Beauty and the Beast. Whenever this comes out, I remind people maybe to go watch that movie. There could be a message in there for you. We all have an inner beast, but this is also about, because this story is really kind of dark, and it's not necessarily about Beauty and the Beast, but there could be a message there for you. This is about how we show up in relationships. And I love that, how it's like, take a deep breath, and the Lovers, because you can't control if someone loves you. You can't control what they do. And the only thing that you have control of is your presence. You can leave. You cannot give someone attention. You can't control how much they message you, how much they love you, if they show up for you. And once again, I'm going to talk about Thich Nhat Hanh, the Buddhist monk, because he has a book, and you can listen to it on YouTube, and it's called How to Love, and it shows you how to love without attachment. Because sometimes we use our love to control people. I'm not saying you do that. I'm just saying release attachment, release control, take a deep breath. You can't control the outcome. You can't control the narrative. And we have to love without borders, love without attachment. I love that, actually. So, but yeah, the Beauty and the Beast says that we all have that beast within us. And, Belle in that story, she was held in captivity by the beast. And I very much think that whole movie is a trauma bond. To me, it's about, I feel like there's some, Reddit stories about how Beauty and the Beast is about loving a narcissist. And to me, that's exactly sometimes what we do, that we think that we can change someone. We think that if we love them hard enough, they'll love you back, or they'll change. We just have to take a deep breath, let go, and let God. We can't control anyone. We can't change them. We can love them without attachment. So I highly recommend reading that book or listening to it online, How to Love by Thich Nhat Hanh. And then we have Ace of Swords. That came out in the last reading. So yeah, I love the Ace of Swords because this is about communicating clearly. And sometimes when we communicate with our partners or with anyone, we don't communicate clearly. We communicate from a low vibrational place where we don't know what we really need. We don't know our needs. So sometimes we get triggered and then we lash out, or, we're not communicating from a space of higher knowledge, a space of I know exactly what I need and I'm going to communicate that to you and express that to you. So clear communication in our relationships can help us to connect, loving without attachment, and releasing control. Yep, I knew it. There's the Emperor. This is about releasing control in relationships. And when we were starting out over here, with earth magic and with shaman and with aligning to our higher power and our higher destiny, our higher calling, doing rituals and stuff like that. But then when we get into the reality, we have relationships can really be a distraction from our practice of, sitting in quiet contemplation with the divine or with our shamans or whatever. So we have the Emperor here, releasing control in relationships. I just gotta take a drink. So some of you out there, and this isn't just about love relationships, okay? The Lovers is about a choice. You have a choice to, take a deep breath and react from a place of love, or you have a choice to not take a deep breath and react out of a trigger or out of a trauma, right? So the only thing we can control is ourselves. The only thing we can control is our behavior. And to remember that when we're communicating, because it will allow us to have sacred reverie in all the people that we love. So let's choose not to react from a beastly manner, like the Beauty and the Beast. Take a deep breath, communicate clearly. What am I subconsciously really trying to say when I'm triggered? I'm hurt, you hurt me, or I don't like that you said that, right? So taking a pause to have a deep breath before you react to something here. Sacred reverence. Why is that there? And we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is about your community, your legacy, your family. Knight of Swords. Yeah, once again, I do feel like this is about taking a pause before you react to someone or something, and to remember, that there are only so many people that we have in our life who really have our back. As much as we want to think that we have all these friends and that we have, all these people behind us, but let's just say you were in an emergency, or it was some kind of emergency going on in the streets, like a lockdown again. Who would actually be there for you, and who would actually just be trying to take from you? And the people who would actually be there for you are the people that, you need to hold in high regard, sacred reverence. And with the Knight of Swords, this is once again about not being hasty and slowing down, taking a pause, taking a breath, and choosing how you react. With the Lovers there, react out of love. And then we have the Fool. So the Fool is a new beginning, and I see that coming out in readings because the astrological new year starts in March or April. This is Aries energy here. So the Fool, the new year doesn't start until March or April. And I think I said this in another live stream, like, if you feel like you are not happy about the new year, maybe you've just been hunkering down or something like that. I'm not ready for the new year. I haven't done anything different. Well, it doesn't start until March or April. And let's face it, it's warmer outside. That's when you want to go and you want to do things. And, that's when you want to embrace the Fool energy, is during the astrological new year, March, April. I love that. So it's almost like having like seeing things from a child's eyes, the innocence that a child's eyes, because you know Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. They're number 0, and there's a certain amount of naivete. That's why it's called the Fool. It's the baby. It's the Fool. And that's that sense of wonder and innocence and playfulness and love without resentment, without control, only exists when we're a baby. And it kind of gets corrupted and jaded, and we become conditioned with conditioned responses as we get older. So we go from the Fool to the Magician to the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is when we have all of this knowledge. And, you know, then we progress all the way to the World, which is the last card of the zodiac. And then we do it all over again. So I love that, because that, you know, that kind of sense of wonder and innocence that only a baby has, kind of, it's good to tap into that when we're triggered by someone that we love or care about, because a lot of the times we get into the Knight of Swords, which is a warrior. The Knight of Swords is a warrior. This is someone who comes in quick, gets the job done without feelings, without emotion. They're sent to destroy. You know, they're sent to destroy. We don't want to approach our family, our lovers, our partners, or even ourselves with the sense of get in quick and get it done and destroy it. So I feel like that's like about slowing down, pausing. How would a child react? I know that sounds silly and funny, because sometimes we have to use our logic and we have to use our discernment. But sometimes we need to get into that playful innocence, and it'll help us to kind of be copacetic and get along with people when we're triggered. So I love that. Let's see if there's any last messages, and we'll go to the last pile. Protection. So I love that, because this second pile, there was a lot about nature. You know, we got Earth Magic. That was the very first oracle card that we got. And this is, you know, about getting in touch with plants and nature. And then we have the tree on here. So I feel like a lot of you guys are into herbs or plants, and you know, maybe you like have a lot of plants, or you just want to go and be around trees. And then we have the turtle, because this is about protection. You know, the turtles are all about protection, protecting the planet, protecting nature, and protecting your money and your legacy. And I say that because sometimes, you know, let's say that you have a really happy family and they have an inheritance to leave you, or they just are there for you. When you go into a relationship or a friendship, you have to remember that they're going to be not only dating you and marrying you, but your whole family. So when you bring someone into your life or your family who's controlling, who's cruel, who's very much the beast, your whole family has to deal with that. So remember, you know, whatever you engage with, your whole family is engaging with it too. Your ancestors are watching and they're listening. The trees and the birds are out there wanting you to do better so that they can thrive. So protection, earth magic, nature, you know, like just existing from this innocent, playful vibe. I really love that. But also, you know, nature will heal you in a lot of ways. And I love that. Nature is so very healing, you guys. Okay, let's move to the next one. Wow. I feel like I'm talking a lot. I want to get a different tarot deck. Let's see. Let's use... I need more tarot decks, you guys. Okay, so the last oracle card was the Believe in Your Own Magic oracle card. I feel like I should have chose a different one, but let's do it anyway. So the lady who wrote this deck, she's an author, which is interesting. Oh, it's not about witchcraft or anything like that. The messages in here are mostly about empowerment. They're about, you know, when it says believe in your own magic, that's kind of just saying that we're all powerful beings. We're all powerful beings in and of ourselves. Okay, let's see. Deck number 3, pile number 3. Oh, we have, oh, it's the burning bush. The burning bush. I love it. It says tree, let them go. So we had earth magic in the last one. I think they're really talking about nature can heal you. Some of you, this could be that there were signs that you maybe ignored in a relationship, or it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. Sometimes we have to let people go in our lives, friends, family members, lover, coworkers. Let them go, make their own mistakes. The burning bush is a big sign that you need, the red flag that you need to stop engaging with someone or giving someone, trying to help someone, or I don't know, whatever that means for you. Sometimes we have to let it go. And then we have red, forgive. So a lot of you guys, maybe you like the color red, or you have red plants. I think about chrysanthemums because it's a Christmas flower. If you know what those is, a chrysanthemum. What is that red Christmas flower? Anyway, so forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Let go and forgive yourself. And then we have mirror. I have to do a whole spread about mirrors, because mirrors have been coming out in a lot of my readings, you guys. This says, treat your body like the palace that it is. I think I said that. You can rewind, and in the first pile I said your body is a temple, and then mirror. So mirrors come out a lot on this channel because we talk about love and relationships, whether it's a romantic relationship or not. Relationships are a mirror for your own wounds. They will trigger you. Friends, family members, lover, they will trigger your wounds. So if you're not fully healed, you could attract someone who mirrors your inner wounds. So just remember that. But also it's about, looking at yourself in the mirror with gratitude, because sometimes I think we look in the mirror and we're not grateful for what we see. Instead, we're very critical on ourselves. And then Tower, unplug and relax. This is like the Tower card, which is divine intervention. The Tower card is divine intervention. If you guys watch my channel, you know I talk about how the Tower clears away things that we're not meant to hold on to. So for some of you guys, you might have experienced a breakup. We're all going through breakups all the time, and it's not always a partner. Sometimes you have to break up with a roommate, with a friend, with a job, with a family member. We have to break up with the old version of ourselves. So I'm highly picking up that this is about self-love. So why do we have the let them go, the burning bush? There's always signs. So for example, the way that I see that let them go, the burning bush, sometimes we stay in relationships that we subconsciously know are destroying us, and we ignore all the red flags. We ignore red flags because we don't want to see the truth, or we don't want to admit to something. We don't want it to be true, right? Why is that there? The burning bush. So the Knight of Swords, that came out in the last spread. Let's get another card. Burning bush. The Knight of Swords is like fighting. So let's say there is a friendship or a relationship or a family member, and you're constantly on guard with them, and we have control again. So it's kind of repeating as the last message. Instead of fighting nonstop with someone, we might just have to part ways. That might be the burning bush that we're ignoring, that maybe we don't get along. Maybe I need to let it be, let them be. And I 100%, I feel like this is also about how we talk to ourselves, because sometimes our ego talks. The Emperor is about control and authority, but it's also our ego. And it comes in sometimes when we don't get exactly what we want. Let's say the Tower destroyed something. You didn't get the person, the thing, the place that you wanted, and our ego is like, that's because you suck. And no, that's not why. It's because it's not meant to be there. And the quicker that we learn to release control to the divine, let go of the control, the better off that we'll be. Okay, so why is this here? Forgive. So forgive yourself for, allowing your ego, a sense of ego control, to making us feel bad about the things that we maybe have to let go of. Page of Wands. So this is about, I feel like with forgiving and Page of Wands, it can be like sending that message to that person. And I'm not saying that you have to message someone. Maybe you can write it down. There's this meditation called Ho'oponopono, something like that. And it's basically, I forgive you, I love you, thank you, I release you, or something like that. So basically it's like if there's someone that we're really upset with, that we have a resentment with, and we're seething and we're angry and we're upset because we couldn't control them or we couldn't control the scenario, then we can't forgive them and we can't forgive ourselves, and we stay in this low vibe energy. So to kind of write it out, I forgive you, I forgive myself, I forgive the situation. The divine was trying to show me a burning bush to tell me not to go in that direction. I didn't listen because it isn't what I wanted. Yep, let go and let God. The Hanged Man. This is the very definition of let go and let God. But this is also reframing how you think of things. This is prophesizing, okay? The Hanged Man goes upside down to see the future, to have pattern recognition on events that have happened. Let's just say, you're reflecting on a relationship that didn't work out the way that you wanted it to, or anything, and you're just sitting there and you're thinking about it. And maybe instead of feeling bad, you envision what life would be like if you stayed with your ex. If you were really honest with yourself, if you released the ego and you released the burden and you just envisioned the good and the bad with that person, you would see that you would have been unhappy. You would have missed out on a lot of opportunities. So to let go and let God, forgive, see the burning bush as a sign to go in another direction. Because if you had stayed on that timeline where you were clinging on to something that you shouldn't have been, your life would be missing out on these miracles, on these amazing things that could have happened. You wouldn't be the person that you are today if you stayed in that relationship. You would probably be a lesser version of yourself. So take a different perspective and prophesize. What would have happened had I got that thing that I thought that I wanted? Would I even have been happy, really? Okay, and then we have this one here is Mirror. Okay, so, I can't show you this. It has nudity on it, so I'll just show you two like this. It's the Devil. Mirror. And I was saying that before because relationships are a reflection of the good things and the bad things. So it's a reflection of the angel and the devil that we all have in us. And it's also temptation. So it's anything dark, like negative self-talk, temptation, eating too much, lust, trauma bonds. That's what the devil is. But it's also just like negative thoughts about ourselves. And when we look in the mirror, we have to be able to like hug those. This is dark night of the soul work. This is shadow work. And relationships are the biggest mirror for your shadow self. And if you have all these triggers, or if you are not awake, you're not conscious, you're not aware of why you make these bad mistakes or why you do anything, then that's when the devil comes in to show you, oh yeah, you think you wanted this person? Let's just see what happens if you do end up with them. Your life could be completely blown up, not in a good way. So yes, you have to do the shadow work. You have to take accountability of your part in everything, because the universe will show you. And if you're completely unaware, you will suffer. So That's the shadow work. Woo, it gives me chills because it's literally what I was saying. You have to hug the dark parts of yourself that you might not want to admit that you have. Otherwise, it'll show up in the form of a person. It'll show up in the form of an addiction. It'll show up in the form of an illness. You know what I mean? That's how the devil manifests. It's just energy work, you guys. It's all energy work. It's all reflections of what's going on in here and in here. Seven of Pentacles, the Tower. You're not a failure if something didn't work out. Okay, you know, this is the Tower. And this is saying that unplug and relax for a spell. Allow things to blow up. Allow things to be destroyed. Allow things to end. It's not that you're a failure or that you wasted your time or that nothing good's ever going to happen. No, it's a lesson about your shadow. It's a lesson about letting go and letting God. It's always a lesson. It's always a lesson. So allow it to be your teacher. What did the pain teach you? I love Tower. The Tower, it's like, okay, that means I need to make some kind of major change in my life because the Tower is Scorpio energy. Scorpio is the agent of change. They thrive in that shit. Pardon my French. They thrive in chaos. You know, and I'm not saying you need to thrive in chaos. I'm just saying that when things go wrong, that's not a reflection on you 100%. It's a lesson. Okay, it's okay, that thing wasn't supposed to happen. You know, the Tower is the Tower of Babel. And I don't know, you can look at the story of the Tower of Babel, and it was like this tower that was built was a place that they went and they worshipped. But for some reason, God did not want that tower and kept destroying it with lightning. And they would build it and it would get destroyed. And they would build it and they would get destroyed. That's like when you keep going back to that situationship and it gets worse and worse every time because you're not seeing the burning bush. You're not seeing the red flag. No. That will get worse every single time until it completely blows up in your face so that you learn to walk away. Or that you learn to, there's something that needs to change here. So you're not a failure if something doesn't work. It was meant to happen that way, to redirect you onto your path. And I say that with jobs too, you guys. It's anything that doesn't work. I had a card on the floor. Whew, I don't like it when that happens. Three of Wands. So I love this. This can also be about a work message, you guys. And I say this all the time on here. If your love life will affect your work, it will affect you. So don't allow relationships to block your blessings, block your workflow, and don't let your work block your love. It goes both ways. So Three of Wands here, looking out into the abyss. I feel like this is about hope and expansion. This is about hope and expansion. 100%. The Three of Wands can be like e-commerce. It can be like waiting. It's literally waiting for your ships to come in. I like to, when I see the Three of Wands, I like to remind people about Castaway because Tom Hanks was rescued. And you kind of got to ask yourself, does my team of Earth Angels, the people I know and associate with the most, are they my rescue squad? Would they come rescue me from some deserted island? Because if not, those are not your people, right? But this is having hope, and this is looking out into the future, knowing that your time will come. Seven of Swords, strategizing. I'm not taking the Seven of Swords as negative right now. Yes, with the Seven of Swords, sometimes you have to realize that people are just playing the game, that they're being calculating. But this is also about you yourself realizing that there are people out there who exist that way. They strategize. They'll look at you and they'll think, well, what can I get from this? But, move in silence. Seven of Swords is moving in silence. It's not you know, it's not letting everybody know what your plans are, because some people will wish ill of you. Why is this coming out here, guys? Hi everybody. Thanks so much for coming out. The Justice. Okay, yeah, so I love that, because this is very much like the tables will turn. And I know a lot of people who come to YouTube Tarot, it's because they got their heart broken, they're healing from narcissistic abuse or things like that, because we did have the devil. And that's okay, because when we talk about karma, karma isn't, you know, what goes around comes around. Karma is action. And if there are people around you who see everything as an opportunity, like opportunistic, who sees every situation as a challenge or an opportunity to succeed or win over the opponents, that will come back to them with the Justice. And 100%, like, if you have bad karma or good karma, you do good things and bad things happen to you, it's not bad karma. That is still teaching you something. Maybe you were too open or too available, because the Justice card, this is Libra energy, and this is about balance, and this is Aquarius energy. So this is saying that sometimes you do need to be strategic, and it's not saying that you're doing it from a dirty place. It's that you're calculating, you're thinking ahead, you're asking yourself, can I trust this individual, or do I need to keep my cards close to my chest? I need to do good things, yes, but not to the extreme that people are taking advantage of me. Not to the extreme that I'm people pleasing or I feel bad about myself. It's up to you to recognize and spot when people are just playing the game, they're just playing politics, they're just serving themselves. So it's important for you to be able to know, and even the Buddha, like in Zen teachings, they'll tell you, like, you have to be generous, you have to be good. But if you're a doormat to people, that's doing, you know, you're doing a disservice to yourself. You're betraying and you're sabotaging yourself, your peace and your sanctity, to allow people to play these politics on you. So it's up to you to know when and where to give, to know when and where to say, no, I can't do that. And you're actually doing justice by yourself and your angels and your guides by shutting someone down like this, or by, you know, when you self-sabotage, the birds, the trees, the ancestors are all screaming, don't do it. It's like giving someone, like, it's like enabling someone to do bad things, okay? So, but also, you don't have to tell everyone about what you're doing. Some things you have to be calculating about, work in silence, you know. And this is also kind of like about not bragging, because when you brag about the things that you have, you're not being humble, those things can get taken from you. And it is like a lesson that the universe is humbling you, because you're flaunting the things that you have in people's face. And sometimes when you do that, you're sending yourself the evil eye. I talk about this on here all the time, you guys. There's a lot of like witches and people out there who have no idea what the red Kabbalah string is and what the evil eye is. It's not this magical souvenir that you wear on yourself and all of a sudden magically bad people run away from you. No, it's a reminder. It is a reminder to not be jealous of what other people have, because when you do that, you're creating karma for yourself. You're creating suffering from yourself. Envy, jealousy, and wishing that you had what somebody else had, that creates suffering for you, because what you're saying is that you're not good enough without that thing. That what God's gifts to you have been given, it's not good enough. No, because Susie has a husband and $1 million and I suck because I'm not Susie. You see what that does? So it's a reminder to you to not, one, to not be jealous, not be envious, but also to not be ungrateful for the things that you do have, because you could lose that. Let's say that You're wanting a bigger house. You're wanting more money. You're wanting just more. And all of a sudden you lose what you have. So now you're even in a worse position. And you're like, man, why did I go after that promotion? Now I got fired and I have nothing. If I was good where I was, I did not appreciate that partner. So they left me. This is just an example of what, what the red Kabbalah string and what the evil eye and, and the ancestral, the history of that is to not be jealous and is to be grateful. So, and I see that here, like that, instead of like being calculating and trying to get more or take things from people, to remember that, to be fair and to be just. And in the end, you're gonna reap more rewards when you have a clean karma and a clean aura, as opposed to someone who's sneaky and conniving and manipulative. I hope that makes sense, you guys. I feel like I'm preaching. I'm preaching. If someone's avoiding you, then they don't like you enough. So that's what I'll say for you, and I hope that helps. Worry less about someone liking you and worry more about liking yourself and appreciating what you have. Okay, yeah, 100%. And then we have Nine of Pentacles. I love this because this kind of concretes what I was saying about having boundaries with people, because the Nine of Pentacles is very independent and they take care of themselves, and they take care of themselves by not giving too much away of what they have. So it's good to be generous, it's good to be charitable, but it's not good to give everything away. And that means energy, time, and attention. Okay, you guys. Whew, I'm tired from talking. So let's pull a motivation message, and I'll do a pendulum question for you guys. For those of you who want a yes or no question, we'll do the pendulum. This says, doors will open. Will you walk through them? So this is about seizing opportunities when they come, because sometimes our manifestation will show up and it didn't show up the way that we wanted it. And so we'll reject it. We'll block our own blessings by not accepting things because it's not exactly what we thought we wanted. So doors will open. Will you walk through them? All right, let's do a pendulum question. If you guys don't know what a pendulum is, it's kind of like this necklace thing, and it works with gravity to get some clarity. All right, and I will just be sitting here in silence so that the pendulum can do its thing. And we have, this is going to be how it answers the question for us. Yes, no, now, wait, maybe, and then rephrase. Okay, so I always tell people there's about a 50-50 chance of accuracy. So use discernment when applying these messages, and think of a question or something you need guidance on. It's moving. It looks like it's moving towards maybe, you guys. Yes. Okay. So the guidance, this is saying maybe. And so the way that I see that, because it's hovering towards, yeah, this is a maybe. So whatever you were thinking about, the answer, the pendulum said maybe, and it will say maybe because it is yet to be determined. Okay, so maybe. I hope that helps you guys. I'm going to get out of here. I will be back to do all the signs. I'm going to start with Aries for the new year. And if you haven't looked under the videos tab yet, I just did the air signs. What are their consequences for hurting you? So you can check that out. And I'll be probably doing the fire signs tomorrow. So look out for that. Thank you so much for spending your Christmas Eve with me. I hope that these messages elevated your consciousness. And I'll see y'all next time. Happy holidays.